Hello, hello, beautiful people. We're about to get this party started. Hello, beautiful people. I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday morning. I know it's Monday, right? Monday is like, but we're shifting our mindset, right? Monday is amazing. Monday is incredible. I'm super excited to be here with all of you. And if you're tuning in, type in the chat where you're tuning in from. So today I'm here to bring you an amazing project that we've been working on. Our Truth Is Not a Lie. And this was a passion project for me because with everything that's happening in the world in regards to race, it's been a very sensitive but eye-opening topic. And I feel that it's important for us to have a platform to be heard, to be seen, and to be recognized for all that we do and how amazing that we all are. And so to provide an opportunity for 17 other amazing individuals that are in this world was such a blessing to me. Because it provides an opportunity for them to share their stories, but also to be seen, to be heard, and to be recognized for how amazing and powerful they are as well. So I'm super excited because today I have three, I'm counting myself, three of our amazing co-authors. And I would love for you to meet each of them. It's a surprise, so I'm not telling who it is. They're gonna introduce themselves, and then soon they won't have to introduce themselves because you already know who they are. Just say it. But anyway, just about me a little bit. My name is Sharon Nisbett. I'm the CEO of Maximum Evolution, and I help women to transform their lives by bringing their vision into fruition. Because at this point, as I learned this morning, it is super important for us to have our own table. So we no longer have to fight for a seat at anybody else's. We'll just go build our own. Because at the end of the day, because we are people of color, because we may look a little bit different, we have to overcome adversities and challenges just to not forget a seat, just to get a peek in the room, just to look through the peephole in the door. You know what I mean? To see what's happening behind the scenes, to get to that next level, to get what we ultimately deserve, because we are all amazing and we are all powerful. So I'm super excited, and I thank my lovely authors for giving me the opportunity to share their stories and to be a part of this project. But I also congratulate them because we got some first-time authors in the house. We got some first-time authors in this house. We have one author here that published, that's getting 2 books published in less than 60 days. Where they do that at? Tell me our Black is not excellence. I'm just saying. But I'm super excited to introduce one of our amazing co-authors. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hi, guys. How are you guys doing? Thank you, Chanel, for giving me this platform. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
My name is Sharon Nisbett. I was born in England. I reside in New York City. And I am a first-time author of my book, which is The Holy Spirit Lives Inside of You and Me. And It was an honor to be a co-author with Chanel this morning.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your chapter. What's your chapter title? What is it about?
My chapter piece is All Things Through Christ. Mm-hmm. And my piece basically has to do with me coming out of teaching for 30 years in a preschool setting and pursuing my Bible degree. That was a passion that I wanted to do. And that's something that I was struggling with in the process of me coming out of teaching for 30 odd years. And I had to make the decision of, do I stay in a fixed income that I was used to having as being a teacher, or do I come out and pursue my long life goal?
Yeah, I love it. Oh, listen, what I told you. We have some amazing people here. First of all, congratulations to you and getting your children's book published.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yes, I love it. Can you show people a couple of illustrations?
One more time.
picture. Show the inside. Show the inside real quick. It's a nice picture. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, did she freeze? Did she? Sharon, you still there with us?
Did I freeze?
You froze in the perfect moment because you didn't see a book coming out. You froze at the right moment. I'm just saying. You did. But it's all right. All right. So thank you, Sharon, for sharing your story. We're definitely going to hear more from you in a minute. So let's get into our next author that I'm super, super, super excited about. This person is a game changer. I know them for like years and a half, child, but they are amazing. And I'm super excited for them to be a part of this project. And I was so excited when they gave me their yes. Okay. So say hello to the beautiful people.
Hey, good morning, guys. My name is Kilimanjaro Toussaint, CEO of Kilimanjaro's Peak Incorporated. I'm born and raised in New York. Again, thank you, Chanel, for this great opportunity to get on this project with you. It's been a great, eye-opening learning experience. Just listening and watching how you organize this whole deal. It's very inspiring. So my chapter is My Name is My Journey. So as you guys heard, my name is Kilimanjaro, and I'm named after a mountain. So throughout my work experience in real estate, financial services, through banking, through different ends of life, I've learned how to, overcome a lot of obstacles, but it all started with having knowledge of self. My mother giving me a strong name like Kilimanjaro really instilled me, having full knowledge of my own worth and my own power, and how many times I've had to put that on the table and negotiate in my own best interest throughout my life and throughout the learning experiences I've had, even through the valleys where you make mistakes and you screw things up. It's about getting yourself back up and continuing to climb that mountain. So My Name is My Journey is analogous to my life experience. And I shared that in my chapter in the book, and I'm truly excited about this project. One thing I can say is that, every learning experience that you attain throughout life, whether positive or negative, you always got to look at the people that made those experiences possible, whether they're positive or negative, and be thankful and grateful on some level to the people that open that door for you to attain that knowledge and information. So again, my name is Kilimanjaro Toussaint. I'm really excited about this project, and I'm really excited about this call today. Today is the soft launch, and let's go. I'm ready.
Yes, I love. Listen. I'm super excited. And again, I thank you and congratulate you. But are you the first time author officially?
I have another book coming out this month, right? It's called Why Meetings. It's about, the importance of never forgetting, the importance of in-person meeting, in-person communication, because while we're in a technology age, and I know we're going through a global pandemic, one thing that's never going to go away is personal one-on-one communication. And sometimes people get frozen. I know so many people that are great at going online and speaking to people and going live or posting clips. But when it comes down to personal interaction and one-on-one and human live communication, they may struggle a little bit. So I just want to go over just making sure we recap where it all started, right? Which is one-on-one before anything came in and complicated it. So that's what that's about. But I'm excited about this. Today is about our journey. It's about this book.
Yeah, listen, I'm just saying we got to give people their accolades and get them. You might have 2 books in less than 60 days too.
30, yes.
Listen. Listen. Okay, just saying. You're not telling me our Black is not excellent. Please hold one moment, please. Thank you so much. I'm super excited. We're definitely going to hear more from him. I call him Killer, so that's what I'm. So you're definitely going to hear more from Killer coming up really soon. So now we're going to have our next author that I'm super, super excited about. Oh my God. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hey people, my name is Jodi Clarke. Some people call me Jojo Clarke. I was born in Jamaica and now I reside in Connecticut. I am an operating room assistant, and the name of my chapter is called Happily Unapologetic.
So tell the people a little bit about your chapter.
So my chapter is just about my experience being a Black woman in the workplace and having to deal with adversity, and how I learned and overcame it, and how it taught me a lot about not only myself, but how I need to handle certain situations and not to be naive about certain things.
Yes, I love it. And so we your first time author or not?
I am a first time author.
Yeah.
This is something that I never thought it would be something that I would do because I'm very particular. Like if I'm not in control of something, it's kind of like I don't want to do it. But as soon as like Chanel said to me, "Hey, you want to be an author?" I was like, "Girl, I don't know what you're talking about." But she was like, "No, I promise you it's okay." And the fact that I trust her, it's kind of like, okay. And I don't trust a lot of people, so it was kind of like, why not do it? What can you lose from not doing it? It's either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. And I just decided to do it to just see what it's like. And the first time doing it, it's there's a little bit of struggle. And I'm still struggling, but it gets easier as the time goes by, and the more you do podcasts and the more you talk about it and things. So so I'm excited about it.
Yes. So she said podcast. So we have an interview on my podcast coming sooner rather than later. And listen, I'm all about pulling people out of their comfort zone and bringing their life to the next level. So trust me, I understand being a little nervous. Look. Woo, like my first book, I was like, forget it. I'm not putting it out there. Forget it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm changing my mind, but it's and I get what you're saying. It's a Capricorn trait.
Yes.
In regards to
control factor.
Right. Like we have to know that what A, B, C, D, E, F, G is, why it's happening, how it's happening. Like I get it. So I thank you for having faith in me as a publisher and as a visionary author. And I'm super excited for you to be a first-time author. Okay.
Thank you.
Just the beginning, just a shout out to my other authors here. Authors in less than 30 days. Like where they do that at? Just say it.
Sure.
But I'm super excited and congratulations to you. And this is only the beginning, as you know.
Wow.
I bother
you have so much in store.
Right? So we're doing this, so let's go. So we're doing that. Let's go, right? Oh, and talk about that. Don't we have an amazing picnic coming up?
Yes, we do. Oh.
Okay.
Can I plug?
I'm all about the plug. Okay.
So I just want to plug my big sis, Lyria Meyer. She is an amazing entrepreneur. She has her own food service where she meal preps. She meal preps for anyone. Anything you want, she can meal prep. If you want to lose weight, she can meal prep for that. If you want to gain weight, she can meal prep for that. But she's having a picnic on September 19th, location to be announced. And you will not be disappointed at the fact, how her food is, how amazing she is as a person, and how she has also, been through a lot as a Black woman in America. But yes, September 19th, if you want, I will put the link in my bio.
Yeah, you drop the link right in the live, child. Drop the link right in the live. Listen. All right. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're so tiny." Whatever, fine. But I love to eat. So when I saw that post, I was like, "Picnic where?"
Yes.
And the food that she posts, I'm like, I'll be on my screen.
It's so good. It's so good. If I lived in New York, I'd probably be eating from her every day, just going over there, just nitpicking. And every time she cooks and meal prep and I'm in New York, I always eat before she actually I'm the child that steals the meat out the pot. And then, yes, that's me.
Listen. So I'm super excited about that. Listen, I'm all about empowerment, empowering everybody for success, everybody to get to the next level. So listen, you can plug, because one winning is everybody winning. So I'm super excited about that. And congratulations to her. I know listen, I'm telling you, I cannot wait to taste. I don't care what it is. I can't wait. I just can't wait. But anyway, let's back to our regular schedule program. So let's move on to the rest of our amazing authors. Welcome back. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hey.
So I'm super excited. So with this project, right, everybody shared their individual stories, but there's so much going on in the world as we speak, like even just not even a week ago that we had an incident with one of our amazing people that is now paralyzed apparently until hopefully doesn't stay permanent. But that's why this project was so important to me, because just as a woman and then a Black woman on top of that, I've had a lot of experiences and challenges because of it. So in corporate spaces, especially where I would walk into a room and I would immediately feel insecure because I'm like the only Black person in the room, right? Or because I've had so many experiences where I've been talked to in a degrading way or in a minimizing way because I'm a Black woman. And it's like, so if I wasn't Black and if I was a woman, would you be comfortable talking to me like that? Like, would you really be, you know what I mean? Like, especially when I was a GM and I was around other higher level individuals and other like company owners that would come and we would do walkthroughs and they would say like inappropriate things or and talk to me like I'm a little girl. Like, yes, I look like I'm 11, but I am not. I am a grown woman, right? And it can be traumatic, honestly, and it can really have you feeling very discouraged and feeling very disappointed because you know that you have a good heart. You know that you have the most potential. You know that you are intelligent and you can hold up any room, period. You know what I mean? So it can be very disappointing as a person to have to feel like it's a constant battle for you to be recognized, for you to get a promotion, for you to have to work 50 times harder to get something that you know that you deserve. Like, you know what I mean? And so for me, when everything happened in regards to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, right, and Ahmaud Arbery, that was like, whew, all of that, like, it just made it necessary for me to do this project. Because it was in the back of my mind, like, I'm gonna do it. I really want to do this. I want to do an audio anthology for sure. And I want to do this exact project. But it made me jump into quicker and getting it done faster because I just feel like it's so important for us as a people to know that we are amazing, to know that we are powerful, to know that we are beautiful, to know that even if we are mistreated by the world, that there are people that are rooting for your success, that are people that want for you to have everything that you want in this world and dream to have. And so that's why this was a major passion project for me, because I always take my pain and put it into purpose. And this is a painful topic for me. I in one of the next interviews that you'll see, I talked to Martha Davidson, who's one of our other co-authors. And this is what made me push it even more. She literally grew up during segregated times. So she was one of the first Black children to go to an all-white school. And so she dealt with not being able to drink water from a certain place. She dealt with not being, and I'm like, what? But she's not even that old. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just made it that more real that they tried to make it seem like it was 400 years ago. But there are still things that are lingering. There are still things that are happening. There are still things that we experience that no one talks about. That's one. Or two, that doesn't get acknowledged and it's minimized. You know what I mean? And if it does, it's like, oh, you're just reading it into wrong. Don't worry about it. What did you say that made that happen? And it's like, girl, I ain't doing nothing. I just came into the room, you know? I'm sorry that I make people feel the type of way. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm no longer going to dim my light, and I'm not going to allow anybody in my circle to dim their light to make anybody feel better. So sorry, I suggest you get shades. Thank you. But yes, I'm super excited. And again, congratulations to all of you for being a part of this project. And I'm super excited. We got some things coming. I'm not going to tell it all, with the element of surprise, but we have some things coming. So I just have some questions. So just, Killa, for you, do you prefer me to call you Killa? You want me to call you Kilimanjaro? Tell me what you prefer.
Either or, it's cool.
All right. So just for you, in talking about your chapter and your journey, tell us a little bit more about your journey.
Okay, so my journey is interesting enough because where I wound up in terms of the professions that I've been involved in versus my education and my in my academia, that is like night and day. So I grew up in New York, but I grew up in the inner city parts of New York where the public schooling system wasn't the greatest, and my attention, it's hard for me to keep my attention on anything long if I'm not truly passionate about it. But once I am passionate about something, I'm locked in on a different level. So in school, I really struggled a lot, right? I went through the 9th grade 4 times. I had 8 credits in 4.5 years of high school, right? So, I mean, people always look at me and they think I'm lying. I used to have my transcript in my office to show people who thought that I was like how when somebody said you look a lot younger than you are, and you say, let me see your ID, because they want you to prove that you are, the age that you say you are and such. We think about my education based on a lot of self-education that I've done. It doesn't seem like I would have come from that background, but professionally, I picked up my life insurance license, my Series 663, my Series 26, my real estate license, different things throughout my journey, a lot of certifications in banking, but those are all professional things where you did that, not for, in the schooling system. But all the while I was in learning and listening a lot to what they were teaching in school, I was reading a lot. I was reading a lot about our history, right? I was reading about the destruction of Black civilization. I was reading about, the miseducation of the Negro. I was reading about so many things that would strengthen me and fortify my mind. So I had like a different little cocktail of like a lot of street smarts, and then I also had that self-education element of having knowledge of self and understanding the deeper roots of our history. And then I was working from I was 14 years old. So I also had, a lot of work experience and a lot of, experience in corporate America and eventually in business. So all of these things, from the time you met me, I was rougher around the edges, right? I wasn't necessarily like, the person that people see now. I was pretty brash at that time, you know what I mean? And I was like, we were like teenagers at that time,
Yeah, literally. All right, don't put
it,
my age down, damn. Like.
I mean, I'm saying though, you look the exact same, you know what I mean? But you didn't age a day. But the thing is that those experiences along in that journey, I always, in the book I say, with knowledge of self, you're off the shelf. And when you're without knowledge of self, you are on the shelf, right? Meaning you're for sale, right? That means that your value is attained and acquired by someone else's estimation, not by yours. You get me? So when I say knowledge of self, you're off the shelf, meaning you can't be bought, you can't be sold. So I always say, if we don't know that, then of course we're going to be going for someone else's opinion of our place in the market. And that's where a lot of the problem is, because when we live by that and we go by someone else's opinion about our place in the market, we have a diminished, sense of pride. So when we go home, we take that out on the people that we live with. You take it out on your spouse, you take it out on your kids, you take it out on the people that are most loyal to you, because you're used to being under the thumb. So it's really big for me to just always seek, avenues where you could get that freedom. One last thing I'll say is a tip that I picked up. I know Kanye West says a lot of crazy things, but he said a lot of brilliant things as well, right?
Yeah.
And one of the brilliant things he said is that he worked very hard to get away from a slow yes. And what a slow yes is, that when someone has leverage in a situation, they can say, I'll think about it. I'll be back. I'll reach out to you. Right? If we're interested, look out for our call, wait for the email. And you're sitting there on pins and needles because you don't have leverage. So you're sitting there waiting on a response. You're like, man, I hope they, give me a okay on that loan. I hope they give me a K on that job. I hope they give me a K on that investment. I hope they give me an okay on something like that. You don't have the leverage. So Joe Budden said on a recent podcast, it's hard to play poker when you're broke, right? Because you can't keep that poker face because you're too invested in the outcome, because you don't have the option to lose. So the thing about what we talk about all the time, it's not easy to get to that point where no one can give you a slow no and a slow yes, where you have to be in that waiting period. But that's what we should be striving for every day, to get to that point. So my chapter is about my name is my journey, climbing that mountain, and it's that's a microcosm of what it's about in life for our culture.
I literally just want to cut that part out and just like that was listen,
good.
That was a word. Like
thank you.
Many powerful pieces. Like the slow yes, that's like literally what I'm talking about in regards to understanding that you have to build your own table. And I'm not saying you have to be like a multi-million-dollar, entrepreneur, like because some people, entrepreneur journey is not for them, and that's absolutely fine. But building sources of income so that you're not just solely dependent on that, because when they decide to give you a no, then you're sitting and they have control. You know what I mean? And so taking power back to say, okay, you can tell me no, but hey, I already got 7 yeses over here. So either way, I'm good. You know what I mean? And that's how you truly regain control of your life, because it's so frustrating, like you said, where you're sitting and waiting for somebody to give you opportunity. You're waiting, and it's also tied to your value and your self-worth as well. And because of how we are portrayed in the media, because of what's put out there about us, immediately you feel insecure. Immediately you feel as if you're not valuable enough. Like, could you imagine the children that are watching the news now and seeing people getting killed and nobody is getting convicted. Nobody's having charges. Nobody's paying consequences. How would that make a child feel as they're growing up? Like, okay, maybe I'm not valuable enough. Maybe I'm not enough for somebody to care about me. You know what I mean? And that's why this project was so important, because it's just like you are important. You know what I mean? No matter who tells you you aren't or who tries to bring you down, there's a reason for it. And how people treat you is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. You know what I mean? And it's so important for me to teach that to my children, because I never want them to feel how I felt growing up. Like, you know what I mean? In the sense of being, I can't control who they're around. I can't control, I mean, yes, I can control who they're around. But so when they become bigger and they're doing their own independent things, you know, we as teenagers, we all think we know everything and we're grown. My 5-year-old thinks she's 22, talking about she ordering stuff on Amazon with what card. You know what I'm saying? But to protect them as much as I can, because I know that this world is evil, for lack of a better term, right? And so we have to kind of get their mindset from now, so that when they are dealing with situations like what you're talking about and what we're talking about in this book, they know that it doesn't define who they are and it does not define their value ultimately. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm building a table for them now, so that they don't have to deal with that and wait for a slow yes and wait for a slow no. You know what I mean? So they have options and they don't have to be like, oh, mom, like they fired me and I have no. Don't worry, you got 50,000 in the bank. Don't worry, you got 500,000 in the bank. Don't worry about it. What you want to do? You want to go live in Italy for a weekend? Well, I mean, for 3 months? Go ahead, go have fun. And that's what my goal is, that they don't have to deal with the struggle and they don't have to have somebody have control over who they can be and what they can do. You know what I mean? So that, like, you can we give him snaps for his word? Like, that was amazing. That was so
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
It really was. No, so you talked about the school system. And just how the lack of knowledge, right? So do any of you feel that there are different things that have impacted how you view certain things in the world when you walk into spaces and have you ever experienced where you feel like immediately uncomfortable? Has anybody ever experienced that?
Of course.
Yeah, all the time.
Right, so tell us about
it. Of course. You know, especially like where I work, you know, I work in a, of course, work in an operating room. It's predominantly white people, mostly a lot of Asians, Vietnamese, you know, you barely see anybody of my skin complexion in that work area. A lot of our kids don't even know that they're able to even be in that work area because no one talks about it. You know, when I found out about like a surgical tech or anesthesia tech or like, you know, OR nurse or there's so many, nuclear medicine. There's so many things that we are not taught in high school. And Killa was talking about it, you know, in coming from Evander Child's high school. We didn't learn nothing about that, you know, in the Bronx public school.
Like, I literally had this conversation with my father the other day because I was in private school for the 9th grade. And I was in public school for majority elementary and middle school. And I went to St. Catherine's and I hated it there. I couldn't tell you why anymore, but I can tell you I hated it there. And now in hindsight, I'm like, I should have sat my little self right in that
myself right in that.
What I learned in the 12th grade in Evander
is what I learned in private school. Yes,
in St. Catherine's. And so when I went to Rutgers, amazing school. Shout out to all my roommates. Right? And I was unprepared. Like in Evander, I didn't have to study, and I've always got my A's.
Right.
Study what? No, I already know all that information. I'm good. When I went to college, I was like, I'm sorry. I gotta.
Because you weren't prepared for it because they didn't prepare us for it. You know.
Yeah, great. It was a huge slap in the face, and so it kind of goes back to the education system and really truly preparing us for that next level.
Right.
But then at the same time, do you think, is it set up so that we fail? You know what I'm saying? Because how is it? I get the public school, it's government funded and all that other good stuff. I 100% get that. But there are public schools
in different areas
that have I have been studying Beacon because that school system up there is no joke. Like they have private school status. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's like it's like, I get it in regards to it being a public school and being government funded, but ultimately, are you really preparing children for success? Are you really preparing them to the next level? Are you really preparing them, like Killa said, for them to have knowledge of self and knowledge so that they can be successful and not have to depend on somebody else? You see what I'm saying? And it was a slap in the face. I was sitting there like, okay, so I got to stay up till 6 a.m. to study versus studying at 8:30 and at 9. You see what and so that's why it's so important for us to educate our own children, educate the children that are around us, so they understand, like, it's not the end all be all. If you don't, when you said in regards to your high school education and having 8 credits, look at how you turn that around and who you are. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why it's super important, the conversation, to understand that our past circumstances and the people that are around us that put evil words on us do not define who we are and who we could potentially be. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys, see what you were saying, Jodi.
Right. Killa is basically so Killa basically just showed that, you know, we are not our surroundings. Just because he was there does not mean that he was stagnant and became the statistic of what they wanted us to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, now look at him. You know, Killa, shout out to you, Killa, because what you said, like, is really still stuck in my head. You know, I'm very proud of you, because you literally overcame adversity. Literally, you did not become, you know, what they wanted you to be, because they don't teach us stuff like that. You know, they don't care. It's just kind of like, okay, you know, it's the public government. I remember in high school they used to have News 12 right in front of the school, because they were prepared for us to fight. They weren't prepared for nothing else but to just cover, oh, look at it, Savannah Childs High School, #1 bad school in the Bronx. You know, and out of that,
I wasn't bad. I was a good student. We were good students.
All right, we were. Compared to what other people get.
I feel miserable. I got caught in 5 minutes. The dean was like, really? But you're absolutely right. Like, oh my gosh, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right.
You know, so now he literally summed up everything that I kind of wanted to say. But you know, we just have to just make sure that our kids and people of color know that they are not where they come from. Like, you could literally become someone else. You are not your surroundings. You know, never just stay someplace because you see your friends being a certain thing. No. If you see yourself doing other things, continue to just level up. It's not a problem. Be different. It's okay. You don't have to follow the crowd.
You said a perfect thing in regards to being different. So for me, my mindset has changed completely. So because I didn't feel worthy, because I didn't feel valuable, I made up for it in materialistic things. So it was like, all right, I feel sucky, so I'm gonna just buy Tory Burch shoes, and I'm gonna have the pretty car, and I'm gonna get the title for the top job and all the other good stuff. But ultimately, it doesn't necessarily. It just puts a mask on what you're truly dealing with internally, right? And so it made me understand, like, hey, all of that is great, and even in social media, they put out the diamond chains and the this and the that. So it puts the pressure on you to feel like, okay, in order for me to be successful, I have to have materialistic things. But what they don't teach you is, true success is having assets. True success is having money in the bank, not the illusion of success, but the actual real success. And that's where, learning about stocks, investments, learning about how you can truly build your value. And I feel like in the time that we are now, there are so many that are now taking on that journey versus following what the social media life shows you. When I went to Thailand, and even watching something with Black Panther show.
Man. Oh, FYI, guess what? Am I the only Black person I've never seen Black Panther?
You gotta go.
Wow.
You gotta go. No, bye. No way. No way. Goodbye. Like, no. 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 All right, you come out now. No, now. You better go buy on demand. You better go watch it. You better go buy it and watch that damn movie. Are you kidding me?
I'm so serious. I've never seen it.
I can't. You guys are done.
lost Killer for a minute. We lost Killer for a minute.
Oh man, Killer was like, I'm not dealing with this girl right now.
Amazing author who just stepped into the building. Let's give her a quick minute so that she can say hi to the beautiful people. Hold on 1 second.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I am so sorry. I do apologize.
It's absolutely fine. Everything comes in the right time. So you came in the right moment. You
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am Demetrice Anderson, aka Didi Anderson, and I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Of course, I'm kind of was raised up in desegregation and being the racism and prejudice and all of that area. That's kind of like where I was born and how my family kind of taught me to learn who I am, learn not only when I go to school, but my parents instilled some things in me that I just kind of never forgot. And I passed it to my son and my grandchildren, and not only them, but people that I know. But I am retired now from the medical field. I was a medical coordinator, been retired for 2 years now.
Yes.
And I'm also working kind of my business part-time as an independent Mary Kay consultant. And then I had the privilege, of course, of running into you, meeting you in a mentoring group, which was something that I really enjoy. And you kind of pushed me to kind of like, okay, now you got more in you. Let's get this out. You got something inside of you that need to be shared, Miss Didi. So even doing that, Chanel, I even thought that was, I came out of my comfort zone as well, because there is things inside of me that I need to share for the next generation as well.
Yeah. Listen, I told you, I don't know what it is, but I see people and I read people and I know, so what Ms. Didi is talking about is we are in a 4-core mentor group, and it's a nonprofit organization that is under Stand for Sisterhood by Marguerite Johnson.
Yes.
And so she's one of the mentors. So it's 4 of us. 4 of us, well, 5 technically.
5.
So we talk about our goals and we hold each other accountable and how we're feeling. And it's an amazing group, honestly. Yes. And I was looking for a mentorship program to partner with for my company. And so it's just been an amazing journey. And so we were talking, and just immediately I'm like, oh, I need to. Because in just us having that conversation, we just randomly were talking to each other, honestly. And she was just talking about where she lives and where she's from and the different things that she's experienced. And I was like, what? And do you hear why I'm saying that I could not hold off on doing this project? I had to do it now, and I had to listen to what was being downloaded to me versus doing it on my own time. Listen. Okay. And so she was talking about her different experiences in being from Oklahoma, right? And having to deal with segregation and having to deal with the things that happened in the past, and then seeing what's currently happening. And that's a super important conversation, because it's just like history repeating itself. And for so long, they make it seem as though we're not sorry, I don't know what I did. That we're not that we're bugging, and we just need to get over it, and that's not really what's happening now. And so to hear her story, which we're going to get into a little bit more about how she was a child, she was another person that was Martha talking about earlier, but a child that had to deal with segregation live and in real life. And we get like the taste of it. And could you imagine what it would be like if we were back in that time and had to deal with that? Like, I'm ready to fight now. Like I would have been there like, what? You ain't talking to me. No, I'm drinking from that fountain. What you talking about? Like, what? Like, I'm ripping down this is only for white people, no color people sign. Like, I'm going, what? I want that cheesecake. I'm coming into it now. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I wouldn't be able to handle that. Like, I wouldn't. Yeah. So it shows your strength and how much of a beautiful person that you are. It makes me sad that you had to come up in that, you know what I mean? But it makes me sadder that we're still dealing with that in this present time. And it's like, okay, when is it going to end? And now you can't tell me that it's our imagination. Now you can't tell me that it doesn't exist. Now you can't tell me to get over it, because we literally have things that are happening in this day that shows that it is real, and that I don't care what you say. I don't want to just matter. Shout out to Black Lives Matter. I don't want to matter. I want, listen, I know I'm valuable. I want equality, and I don't want to have to. As a matter of fact, I don't even matter no more, because I'm building my own table, just saying. But so now you don't have to ask me to even want to have an opportunity with you. But that's not the conversation. That's a whole other thing. But no longer having to fight for you to see me and to be heard, and for you to give me an opportunity. Like, no, like that. Anyway, but yes. So Miss Sharon, you didn't get to really, get into the tea a little bit and have this conversation with us. So, you grew up in England, right?
Okay, yes. So my piece had to do with all things through Christ. So before I go into that, I just wanted to share, when I came to this country, I had a major culture shock, because for me, I didn't know my history because it wasn't given to me in England. I came here when I was 14 years old. So I took it upon myself when I was going to college, and I took my undergrad, to take an elective in Black Studies, because I wanted to know the history, American history. So when I got to know that, it was like an open door for me, where my whole perspective, my whole mindset just changed completely, because then I was faced with not only racism here, but also racism within our own skin color. Because if you came from a different country, in terms of like West Indian, it was racism amongst West Indians against West Indians. That's what I was dealing with in high school. So it was like, if you wasn't Jamaican, you wasn't fly enough, you wasn't better enough. If you was from a small island, because my parents are originally from the St. Kitts Nevis. So it was like, oh, that's a small island. So they didn't really consider us West Indians. So it was, I was faced with that too, going to high school in my era. So the piece that I talk about in the book basically has to do with me taking upon myself now, not allowing society to place their labels on me and say, no, you're going to just be in this area. You're going to do what we're going to tell you to do and stay there. For example, I wanted to come out of teaching after 30 years and pursue my passion, which was getting my Bible degree. And I was told that they couldn't work around my schedule. So I said to myself, okay, they're going to stagnate my growth, because I want to personally develop my personal growth and my spiritual growth. And what happened was, I said, you know what? I'm going to demote myself. I'll just say to them, I no longer want to teach. And whatever they have for me, because I still needed an income coming in for myself, I said, I'll take it. So what they gave me was a para, a one-to-one. So that was a big pay cut in my salary, because now coming from being a teacher in a classroom teaching to being a para, a one-to-one, that was a big salary cut in my pay. But I knew, because of my strong belief in God, greater is he that is within me than he that is in the world. He's going to take care of me. So that's the mindset I had coming out of teaching and pursuing my long life passion, which was, pursuing my spiritual growth and learning from there. And I was able to attain my Bible degree for personal reasons and spiritual reasons. It wasn't just for me to attain a degree to say, oh, I have this accolade under my belt. It was something that I wanted to pursue for my spiritual growth. So in saying that, I'm saying, don't allow society to label you and stagnate you. Do what's within inside of you to pursue what you want to do. Because once you have a passion of doing what you want to do, it becomes your lifelong ministry. And for me, I'm content and I'm secure with who I am. And I took that leap of faith by saying, society's not going to stagnate me. I'm going to push forth through what God is allowing me to do. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Listen, Sometimes you have to go through the motion to get to the promotion. Okay. Sometimes you take a
And it was the fear. It was the fear. It was the fear of the unknown for me too, because I had that fear factor of, oh my God, I'm gonna come out of not knowing what the outcome is. But then, that's the flesh side of you. But when you have that spiritual side, and you know that God is with you, no one can be against you. So if God is for you, who can be against you? So
That's
that was
it.
my motto, and that's what I went. That's what I worked my way through.
Listen, you just you got me chills. She got me all thrown off.
I could go on, but let me pause. I said, let me pause. Let me pause. I could go on.
You're dropping like such important gems in regards to fear and how it can literally hold you back from like anything, and it's literally in your mind. Like you have an idea, and then immediately your brain just like, no, you can't do that because of this. You can't do that because of this. You can't do. Nope, don't do that. Don't turn. Nope. And it's because your brain is automatically set up to protect you, so it's gonna automatically give you feelers to be like, heck no, don't do that. So that's why when you're on a roller coaster, your body starts sweating. Some people throw up, some people pass out. Some people, like, you know what I mean? You're anxious. You feel like it's because your body is like, heck no, why are we on this roller coaster? Why are we going 9 miles feet up? What's happening? You know what I mean? And so that comes in everything that you do. Like the fear aspect comes in everything. Whether it's you're going for an interview, you start getting nervous, but you're like, what? I've done rehearsed this 70 million times. Why am I nervous? You know what I mean? Whether it's, I want to become a full-time entrepreneur. Right? I'm leaving 6 figures behind. Right? The fear, it took me about 6 months to make a decision, but that's all right. I made a decision, right?
Amen.
Absolutely.
It's the fear that literally will hold you back from being who you are destined to be, but it's also the fear.
And you know what?
Oh, go ahead.
Even though, I walked away from a fixed income and, being comfortable with the fixed income as a teacher and letting that go to pursue my passion, through it all, I was able to still have no lack in my life. God gave me more. It wasn't like I was lacking anything. I gained. So through that was a learning experience too. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Take that leap of faith and go forth.
Like she's telling you, she's like right on the nose, because it's like you have a level of control, essentially, meaning you have your money coming in, you have a system in place, things are just flowing. But sometimes you block your breakthrough, you block your blessing when you don't listen to what's being told to you internally in regards to the direction that you need to take. Hi, Leslie, how are you, darling? Thank you, Renee. How are you? And if you don't take that leap of faith, you block your blessing on how you can be pushed 10 times farther than your comfort zone. You know what I mean? Fear is literally because it's because you're used to a certain thing, and the fear comes in, like you said, it's the unknown of what's going to happen. Okay, well, if I take this pay cut, how is it going to make my life look? If I go do this Bible degree, is it really going to help me to push myself forward? Like, you don't know what the end result is. But a lot of the times when you take that risk, just take that risk on yourself and believe in what you have and that you are valuable and that you deserve to have whatever it is that you dream of. It'll just push you forward. Now look at you saying, I'm about to be an author, a 2-time author after 30 days. Like, imagine you don't take that.
Oh wow, look at that.
You know what I mean? If you didn't take that leap of faith, where would you be? You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of times we have to take what we've gone through and understand that it's an opportunity for us to learn where we need to grow, but also learn where we need to heal. You know what I mean? It's an opportunity, and also it's an opportunity to push us for our next season. You know what I mean? And that's where I had to make the shift in understanding, like, instead of me getting frustrated about what isn't happening, why is this person doing this? Why is this person talking to me like this? It's like, what is it preparing me for? So everything, I guarantee everything that you have gone through to this point was the purpose to get you where you are today. I promise you. So I no longer get frustrated when I have some special person saying something next, you know what I mean? Saying something, derogatory or trying to demean me. I no longer take on the negative energy of somebody else's, because at the end of the day, it's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them, their fear, their lack mindset, you know what I mean? All of that. And so when you take that into account, you just become unstoppable. So you can't tell me nothing. What's that Kanye song? You can't tell me nothing. You might get a little frustrated. You might feel a little sad. You might have moments where you're like, dang. But at the end of the day, understand it's literally to put you where you are supposed to be. Like me walking away from that job
Amen.
Absolutely.
that I suffered was literally to help me. Now
Amen.
I know how to run a company. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everything that I learned from the hospitality industry literally helps me to manage everything that I do today. When you're like, oh my gosh, you're organized the hell out of this project. Yes, because I had 72 employees and I had to do a revenue sales, this, that. So it's like, it's just easy for me. You know what I mean? And even with like the personal experiences and domestic abuse and attempted suicide, that literally helped me to understand my lack of self-value. That helped me to understand my lack of self-worth. And it made me work on myself so that today you can't tell me nothing, right? Like, you can't. That's going to impact me. It might make me feel, it might hurt my feelings because, we're all human at the end of the day. But you best believe it's not going to knock me down where I'm like, why? No, like, okay, I heard you. You showed me who you are. I now know who you are. So now let me pivot, like we talked about earlier in the group. Is things happen that are out of control. Shout out to Amazon, rolling my eyes. But anyway, things happen that are out of control. But we just have to learn and we just have to pivot. You know what I mean? So now it's like, now I have to shift my mindset. Like, okay, well, what can I do differently for that? Okay, now that happened. Now I'm going to find something to make it 10 times better. So I did already. Okay, just stay tuned. You'll find out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just
Amen.
And I'd like to also say something. Life is there's a process that we go through in life. Everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it is a process. And through the process, God takes all of that that we go through to get to where we need to go. And then after we get through that, and then God began to show us what he's called us to be, what he has purposed us, the value that we have, and knowing that nothing that has in our life has worked against us. All of it is working together for the good of us. And even when I gave that title, because when the Lord gave me that title, it was like, I was made for this. Like, how was I? He said, because everything that you went through in life as a child, which you had to endure through racism, through negative comments, through being called nigger, or through rocks being thrown at you. I had to defend myself a couple of times, but knowing that.
Listen, you can say you was beating people up. Just say it. We don't mind. Listen.
I mean, but through all of that, you know what? It taught me endurance. It taught me perseverance through life. It taught me that, God made me better than that. My identity is in him. And because you go through things, or because we go through abuse or marital problems, or being defined as, it's like, who did God define me? Guess this is what God defined me as. And because he purposed me and gave me a calling and a purpose before the foundation of the world, before I was even in my mother's, and before my mother and father got together, he ordained me. He knew my purpose. So, not knowing that when I was young, but as I grew older and began to figure out, well, you know what? All of this was for my good. So I was made for this.
Yes.
I was actually made for this.
Yeah. So can you just give the people, because we had this conversation, but I just want the world to understand. So when you were younger, you lived in Oklahoma, right?
Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where I'm from.
And so you dealt with segregation firsthand.
Middle school. As I was I came out of elementary school and was going to my 8th grade year, which was junior high school. Yeah. And so at that particular time, well, they had just actually started the busing. Being familiar, going to your own community school, which was, you were used to everyone. That was my culture, was being in my neighborhood, having Black teachers, the students, our neighborhood, and then being pushed into a white community where, of course, they didn't want Blacks. They made it known. And then knowing some of the things that had happened in the high school where students were thrown out of windows. And so that was fearful. That was very fearful. And this was at a high school.
You can't just say that so nonchalantly. What do you mean they were thrown out windows?
at one of the high schools where they had to be bused. Some of the people, the Black students had to be bused at a high school downtown Tulsa. They did not want the segregation. They didn't want Blacks. So they had to actually fight. They fought their way in and fought their way and had to fight, for class. And they didn't, it was actually not really recorded, but some of the students, people that I knew that went there, they experienced seeing Black students thrown out of the building, out of the windows, and over the staircases. So me knowing this and knowing that I had to go to a all-white school, of course I was a little fearful because I didn't know. You're fearful of the known. You don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fearful for me. So. But going into, like I said, my 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, I had to be there for 3 years, and after that, I went into a high school where it was a mixed school, but I had to get over the first,
trauma.
The 7th, 8th, the trauma.
Right, like that's traumatic. Like what? I'm like, forget it, Mom. Just homeschool me. I want to go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Forget it. Just keep me home. I'm good. I want to go. That's what I'm like. I couldn't imagine. I just could not imagine. I couldn't imagine that I had that you. And then it also comes to the piece of what we take for granted now. You know what I mean? In regards to how we do have a level of access and freedom. Is it 150%? No, but ultimately, like, could you imagine us having to fight just to go to school? I'd be like, guess I'm not going. Like, I'm not gonna sit here in no class. Like, you throwing rocks at me? Oh, I'm gonna go to jail today because you're not throwing rocks at me. Like, absolutely not. Like, and that's what I mean in regards to getting back to this project. Why I felt like it was so important. First of all, just to have different generations on this project to share different perspectives, but also for people to understand, like, one, it wasn't that long ago, and two, what we have today and how we can't take for granted all of those who went through certain things for us to have the level of freedom that we have today. You know what I mean? So step into, take the fear out of your mind for a second. I couldn't imagine walking in your shoes. I couldn't. And listen, to me, listen, you can't tell me nothing. Like, I don't care. My attitude is my attitude could go to 2 million in 2.5 seconds. I worked on it. I promise. I respond, not react anymore. But I couldn't imagine having to go through that. Like, I couldn't imagine having to sit and feel uncomfortable in a classroom to learn to get my what I owe. Like, you see what I'm saying? You already know. I already told you this, Miss Didi. Like, I am so proud of you and all that you have overcome, and for you to be on this project. It's an honor for me to be able to share your story, and I feel like everybody comes for a purpose. And she's like my family. Like, she don't even know this, which I for real, because she's one of my biggest cheerleaders, and mind you, only met her 3 months ago. It's
4 months, about 4 months.
Wow.
And she just has a really great heart. So I'm I don't know what it is to go through those circumstances, but I'm happy to be able to make you a first time author, okay? And to also share your story and give you a platform so that you can be heard. Because I know for a fact that back in the day you weren't, and you probably were ignored, and you probably, you know what I mean? And oh gosh, my heart. I
thank you.
I'd like to add something as well on top of that, if I may.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, Didi, that was super powerful and poignant, those points. And as Chanel said, we can only literally imagine what it's like to have that on a day-to-day basis. And the best way for us in our generation to pay it forward is that we have to have knowledge of self, but we can't also be so disillusioned by the obstacles that we're woke and broke. And a lot of times we have a large segment of our community that's so discouraged by the circumstances or discouraged by the infrastructure working against us that they become stagnant or still in their movement, in their action, in their dreams. They settle, different things like that. So I'm a big proponent of a person that says, listen, if you study the roots of capitalism, it's rooted in some level of oppression, right? If for it to thrive the way it has in this country now. You either say, I'm going to go into a society where that is not existing, or you're going to say, I'm going to adjust and adapt to the tools given to me from that system and make sure I strengthen my family base, our cultural base, our people as well. So we can't run from that fight. We have to embrace that and say we can't be woke and broke. We can't say, okay, making big money and having big goals, big dreams, big resources, big options and opportunity is only limited to those who are ruthless or those who, those who have no soul and no heart. We have to say, listen, we have these tools available to us. People like Didi lived through so many different life experiences that we don't have to even think about as much as. So why are we going to complain about things to the point that we're inactive, right? We have to make sure that we're so on top of it. Our mental toughness has to be on another level, because we don't have to endure those things. No matter what we think we have to endure today, we have enough options, enough resources. We have enough networking tools and enough technology to, like Chanel said, create our own table, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, if we each one teach one, we strengthen each other, and we use on the backs of people like Didi who survived those things, and for those unfortunately who weren't able to survive those things, right? We can't be weak because they were so strong. How could we be weak with less adversity, right? We could paint it however we want to, but the bottom line is that we don't have to go over certain things in certain ways that we can't use that as an excuse to not make it to where we want to be. We can do it. Right, it's just about having that determination and that fortitude. So again, thank you, Didi. And I know that you can write a book alone about the experiences that you've seen and heard throughout your lifetime. And we can't even write a page to compare to that. So only thing we could do is rise for you guys and make sure we go out there and build our own things and do our own, because you guys laid the groundwork.
Yes, killer. Yes.
Very well said. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's right.
You killing it. Like, you killing it.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Can we just take a moment? Look how he's surrounded. Like, he's like red right in the center, surrounded by like, you killer. We were at you. Like, that was amazing. You are
wonderful.
You are amazing. You are
amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, I love it. So we're about to come to an end. We've been on here for an hour now.
Wow.
It's great. You see how we just have conversations, make it happen, make it flow. That's all about when you're surrounded by greatness. It's going to be simple. It's going to be beautiful. I'm just saying. But I thank all of you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart for saying yes to this opportunity. And again, I congratulate all of you for saying yes to this opportunity, because listen, it's just time to keep leveling up. Like, you know what I mean? Listen. And I'm very big on providing opportunities to help individuals to literally make their dreams come true. And that's the mission of Maximum Evolution. And that's why, like, Miss Didi is like, she got me out of my comfort zone. That's like, Sharon, listen, that you see that book, right? Okay, just say it, right? Because I understand what it is to be, thank you, Leslie. What it is to feel fearful, to feel like there's no way, to feel like you don't know what's left, what's right, to have no direction, to feel like the world is on top of you and you have no clue what to do. So if I can be a person, help somebody, give direction, to help somebody to get their life to where they want it to be, I will 150% do that. Because listen, I'm an abundance thinker, and you winning is all of us winning. You succeeding in life is everybody succeeding. And that's what we have to understand as a community, that we don't have to have the crab barrel mindset. We don't have to have the lack mindset. That killer winning is not me losing. Killer winning is us winning. Okay, I want everyone exactly who it is that you want to be in the world, for you to live your dream, to do everything that you want to do in this world. I know what it feels like to feel like, dang, like, I don't know what to do. I don't have any help. I don't have, you know what I mean? So I'm super proud of all of you, and keep striving and keep pushing forward. And I love to say this is only the beginning. I promise you it is. So listen, we got you coming out with a book soon, Miss Jodi. We got some things working on. Listen, we're not playing. So I congratulate you to share how the audience can connect with you. So I'm gonna give you a moment. Give me 1 second for you to talk to the beautiful people. You go ahead, go first, Killer. How can you connect with you?
How can people connect with me? You can connect with me. In 1 week, we'll have versusuniversity.com up and running. That's going to be a platform for the courses that I'm going to be putting together on public speaking, on conducting organized meetings and training events, as well as various different projects that we're working on that's going to be coming up in the future. On Instagram, Kill Incorporated, KIL Incorporated. That's my handle on Instagram as well. On Facebook, Kilimanjaro Toussaint. That's my handle there. So, I'm going to be expanding and doing a lot more. And I'll be picking your brain, Chanel, because, you have a beautiful structure that we can definitely benefit from. And we can definitely share notes and see what we can do together. Again, I want to thank you for the opportunity. This is beautiful, wonderful. You guys on the panel have been excellent, and I've learned a lot. I'm taking notes. I have my little notebook here. So, you guys are wonderful, man. Thank you so much.
Listen, you don't want about the collaboration and cash out. Let's make it happen. Let's say greatness only equals greatness squared, cubed, 4 times. I don't know. We got this.
Hi, everyone can connect with me on either Facebook or Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram, and my Instagram name is It's Jojo. That's OHMYITSJOJO. It was a pleasure being able to listen to all these beautiful people and them sharing their experiences. As a first-time author, I'm very excited, and I look forward to working with my very great friend Chanel in the future. I really do appreciate the opportunity that she has given me in order to step out of my shell and to be less in control and to just not be fearful of for greatness. So I appreciate that.
Yes, you did that, girl. Oh, that was all you, because you could have been like, hell no, I'm not doing that. So, shout out to you for saying yes, and I'm so proud of you. Listen, we have the same brain, so I already know who I'm dealing with. So I'm like, I give her a heads up, so this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And she's so I'm so excited. I'm so excited for her. Congratulations to you again. Miss Sharon, you up next.
Yes. Hi. You can connect with me on at Sharon_Nisbett. That's on Facebook. I'm on Instagram and www.SharonNisbett.com. And I'm also on a page called The Holy Spirit Lives in You and Me. And I just want to thank Chanel. You already know, girl, you are phenomenal. You are a trendsetter. You are a queen. You are amazing. Every adjective that describes who you are, that's you, in a beautiful way. And I thank you for this opportunity. And I just pray that God will continue to use you, because you are a force to be reckoned with. I love you guys.
Show that book one more time. Show that book one more time. Just show it to the people one more time. Show the book. Yeah.
And my book is on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Open it real quick. Show a picture. Look at it. It's real. It's a real book. Oh, look at that. What's the girl's name?
Shayna.
Yes. Look, I love it. Yes. Thank you, Sharon.
Love you.
Miss Didi.
Yes. First of all, I like to say I just thank the Lord. I thank God for this opportunity, and I thank God for Chanel. And I thank God for all of you all. You all have been such an encouragement, and I want to just encourage you all to continue to move forward, to continue to pursue your dreams, and continue to be all that God has called you to be, because you all are greatness. All I can see and hear is greatness. And you can contact me on Facebook or through my email address, DDAnder1958@gmail.com. But most of the time I'm on Facebook. But you all continue to be blessed. And I look forward to getting on you all's website and purchasing that book also from you. And Chanel, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the platform.
How did you not love Miss Didi? She's like the sweetest person ever.
Thank
First
you.
of all, can y'all stop? Y'all making my head real big. Y'all making my head real big.
I know. I love y'all.
But no, girl, congratulations to all of you. Good job. You guys had so much value.
Yes.
I thank you for your transparency. I thank you for sharing your story. I thank you for your yes. I will always say thank you for your yes, and congratulations to all of you. And again, I know this is only the beginning.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Absolutely.
2020, you've been, whoo, Lord, you've been kicking us, jumping us, stomping us. Like, you've been doing a lot. Like, we've been wrestling back this 2020, but you see, we're not stopping. We're going to keep pushing forward. And no matter what adversities come our way, we'll
yes.
level up and take it to the next step.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
it's all good. We got powerful people in this group, and that's all we like to do around.
Amen.
Powerful people and greatness. So congratulations to all of you guys.
Amen.
Everyone.
Amen.
Thank you.
And for all of you that are tuning in, you can find out more information about Our Truth Is Not a Lie at www.ourtruthbook.com. We have some more things coming sooner rather than later, so make sure you stay tuned. And for all of the lovely people that have been watching with us, we appreciate you for taking your time, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you 100%. And all those that were commenting, we appreciate you as well. And you can contact me at Shana Spencer Now on both Instagram as well as Facebook, and also my website, www.readytotransformnow.com. And stay tuned, because we'll be back at 12 o'clock. Thank you, beautiful people. Bye.